Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and squirrels do not suffer the burden of wearing pants. Let that sink in. But for the last week, I've been carrying the Gin Knives Vaquero. And if this is your first time seeing a Gin Knives video, these guys sell kits that you build the knife from, and the Captain kit, that is a great daily driver. It worked so well for me. The D2 is heat treated well. The Chubby, that thing is a great little novelty. It's a nice little toy with an edge. It's great for popping tape. It's cute. And the G10 knives they sell are great for kids to put together and to teach safety. All that. And they have supported this channel and so many others so thoroughly for a while now. They are worth your time and our support. Now that the preamble's out of the way, we've got the Vaquero kit here. Let's take a look at what we're holding. And first things first, and importantly, there's no pocket clip. It is in pocket clip purgatory. Now, I've been speaking to them via email, and they said they couldn't figure out how to get a pocket clip on here without the polished ox bone right here cracking, which that is natural material. It is polished ox bone, which is just very, very cool. It's got the same vibe as the paper micarta, but it's way cooler. I really like that a lot. Now, we do have a thumb hole. Let's flick the hole. And we've got a 2.75-inch polished Damascus blade. You can see the layers right there. And in the hand and in person, this thing looks way cooler than the camera is showing you. And I've shown this off to a few guys now. They were absolutely blown away by it. This is a completely separate beast from their other kits. This thing it's more upscale. It's more premium. This thing, I am so impressed by it. It's also on ceramic bearings, which is also very nice. And it carried well. I put it in my back pocket. No pocket clip means I had to get creative. It rode in my back pocket, and it did reasonably well there. It wasn't too uncomfortable unless it was just at the wrong angle when I sat down on it. I had my plastic safety cutter at work in there too. So they were kind of jousting for space, but it worked. Doing the test on the plastic on pallets. And if you don't know, when you go through that stuff, if you've got going through the middle, if you got a pretty good factory edge, it'll cut it well enough. But that single layer down at the bottom, where the roll either started or stopped, that one layer, if you've got edge problems, it will show them. And this blew through it like I was cutting water. It cut so clean and so easy. I was astonished. I fed it a piece of cardboard. It was super, super slicey. The factory edge on this is phenomenal. This is one of the best factory edges I've ever gotten, ever. And, it's not like I'm trawling the high-end stuff where everything is finished by hand and, they do crazy stuff to it. But, for what we do here, the budget knives and things that are, more budget-friendly for guys that are, in the lower property values like we all are, this factory edge is nuts. Let's see. That is shaving hair, no problem. We don't even have the snowfall of dead skin nearly as badly as we do, but I think you can see, there's a bunch of hair on it. That might make you fail a health inspection. So, this edge, it's one of the easiest shaves I've gotten off a knife I didn't sharpen myself. I am astonished because, I pulled it out of the box and started putting it together, and I was like, this feels really good. But, the edge on the Captain was fantastic to begin with there, but it was nothing like this. And, of course, this is reasonably thin blade stock, and you got a nice high flat grind instead of the hollow into the flat. And that also helps it so much. That is becoming one of my favorite grinds. It's just a nice flat grind all the way to the top on a taller blade. Just give me as slicey as possible, and this thing meets that need so well. Let's get out some paper here and see what we got with this. And I'm on camera, so I'm gonna bork one of these cuts. But this is just ridiculously sharp. I can't stop going on about the factory edge. I love what they did with this thing. This is what I strive for when I'm sharpening my own knives. And, again, I'm not on the most high-end equipment, and I don't have the most skill on the planet, so this is about where I can get with my own sharpening, which I am more than happy with. And again, I showed this to guys at work that are at least kind of into knives, and they were absolutely blown away by it. They just could not stop staring at it, handling it, flipping it over. This thing in the hand feels so much nicer than a lot of knives in this price range that I've gotten. Like you got this heirloom fit where the ox bone meets the scales, a little bit extra scale sticking out there, which makes it very, very comfortable in the hand, like extremely comfortable. And it's got some weight to it. And some knives, some weight on it's not a good thing, and some knives it is. The weight on this makes it feel very, very solid. Like it's kind of hard to describe. Like most knives would go for lightweight, stuff like that. But this one, it's not the lightest thing in the world. Let's see what we actually have for weight here. Now that I remember that I've got a scale. Come on, 114 grams. So it's not the lightest thing on the planet by any stretch of the imagination. But it's not too heavy. It feels really solid. Like it's got the kind of weight that it has to it, and the way it's weighted, it feels kind of like a fidget toy. This is very soothing to just sit here and mess with. It is. I'm one of those guys that when I have something nice to fidget with, I really, really like fidgeting with it, and this thing is fantastic for that. And like I walked around work flicking the thumb hole for about, I don't know, 40 minutes when I got in there walking the store and checking my temperatures and all that. Like, it's been fun to mess with, and I still have hairs I shaved off right there. Neat. It's crazy slicey. The factory edge is amazing, and, the only real criticism I have here, and I mean, it's the only one, is I wish they would have made this where right-handers could reverse flick this, because you cannot get in here to reverse flick this at all, which, it's modern knives. I see a thumb hole, reverse flick. That's what I do. That's what we all do. And we don't have that here, which, I mean, part of that maybe is just intended for a slow roll instead of a hard flick, but, we're going to do this. Now, if you're left-handed, you're in luck because it's set up perfectly for a left-handed reverse flick, and because I'm not left-handed, that looked like trash. It did. And I owe you one of these. We didn't do the left-handed flick. So, yeah, I mean... And it's not really that big of a deal. Like, it's not a harsh criticism or anything like that. But if I were to do things differently with this thing, I would have made it so you could reverse flick it off your right hand, because that would have turned this into an absolute monster. Like, it's still great. It's not the end of the world. But I tell you right now, being able to reverse flick with your middle finger would have turned this into an absolute fidget monster. And I would have absolutely loved that. Now... I did share with them a technique that could help resolve the issue of the natural material cracking when they do the pocket clip. I don't know whether or not that'll be taken into consideration later, but, I got super excited when I thought of it. You mill a spot out right here for a little spacer, and you just screw through the spacer into the liner right here, and boom, pocket clip with no pressure on the ox bone. They can't do anything to fix that now. Like, that run's already made. They're done with that. So maybe on the next one. But like overall, I absolutely love this thing. Like, this is phenomenal. I cannot wait to see more stuff of this caliber come out of Jen. It's just they're doing some crazy stuff right now, and they're listening to us. They're improving their product as they go. Like, they're so cool about everything. Even when I had my criticism with the Chubby, it was taken in stride. Like, they understood, and I understood what was happening, and I shared with them like it's a blade thickness issue. They were cool about it. They were real cool about it. So like, and I cannot wait to see what the next thing they do of this caliber is. I really can't, because like this came out of nowhere. I was expecting stuff more like the Captain and the Chubby to come out, and they hit us with this. And yeah, I'm gobsmacked. Now I cannot wait to do Cardboard Slayer with this thing. We are doing a Cardboard Slayer live stream. It's going to be kind of sad to see the mirror Damascus get hazed out with the cardboard scratches, but being that I don't know what the materials are in this thing, I'm assuming it's some kind of stainless Damascus, like a stainless Damasteel. It may take it like a champ. It may have enough HRC to not scratch up very badly. I know they're D2. That didn't pick up a ton of scratches, and when we're doing our CR series steels, those things get hazed out so bad with the hairline scratches. So they may have a good high HRC stainless Damasteel or something like that. Like, I'd love to know the materials on here. I don't think this is carbon steel, but I could be wrong. That being said, like, it was in a humid enough and sweaty enough environment that if it was carbon steel, it might pick up some rust. Not 100% on that. I've definitely wiped all the oil off it about a dozen times. So, I said, it's just, this thing is fantastic. It feels super premium. The weight on it's super nice. It's super great to fidget with. The edge is stupid sharp on it. And, like, the just everything about this feels so nice. The lanyard, I've kept the lanyard on here. I've had the leather start coming untied a little bit, and I've had to tie it back on a couple of times now, which, I mean, if I was going to do this as a permanent thing, I was going to carry it for more than a week and then do cardboard slayer on it, I would have glued that down or gotten my own leather or some paracord. But you know how I do. I got to carry it for a week, and then it goes on the pile, and I'm on to the next one. Now, this one may go to my dad just because, he is a more traditional guy, and, he's got like a Swiss Army knife, and that's it. So he may actually like this enough to carry it. I'll sharpen it back up after cardboard slayer and see what he thinks. And the only other thing I can say is I've had screws loosen up, like, the ones that... The spacers right here, the ones going into the spacers to keep the liners connected loosened up on me, and I had to wrench those down pretty hard. And I had to tighten the pivot screw up on it. So if you got Loctite and you like putting that on your knives, this would be a good candidate for that. But, like a lot of knives like this, whenever I mess with them and put them back together, I'll have to tighten everything down again. And the second time, they stay put. I wrenched down on it a lot harder, and apparently you can drive these things home pretty hard on the scales, and you're not going to crack them unless you go nuts on it. I'm not sure a T6 driver wouldn't strip out before you crack this stuff. Like I reefed on it pretty hard putting them back together. So, yeah, let's just sum everything up with this thing was fantastic. Like, unexpected, incredibly pleasant surprise. They did fantastic with this thing. Couple of very tiny criticisms. One of them is just something I'd do differently, and the other one is, use some Loctite. But, I cannot wait to see what they do next, and it is with a heavy heart that I say this will be the last Gin video for a while. I hope they reach out to me when they release some new stuff. I did ask them for a pocket cleaver because I'm me. I want something along the lines of the O-Knife Sentry or the Sheepdog XL or something like that, so I made a point of asking about that. But, they've been great to us. They deserve support. But, yeah, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate it so much. I can't tell you how much I value the time that you spend watching this stuff. Like, it's amazing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I've got 4 knives to give away at 2K, and we're getting there slowly but surely. And there's some more stuff to give away between now and then, so try to win yourself a knife. Comments, I love some feedback. If you've picked one of these up already, because I know some of y'all have been interested in it, let everybody know how it's doing for you too. Like, I shouldn't be the only voice singing the praises of this guy. But, all that being said, y'all have a nice day.